Good evening and Dios Saturnalia to everyone. Welcome back to our Adeptus Titanicus stream with Master Jeff. Unfortunately, Vian is dead today due to end of the quarter stuff for being a teacher, so he is busy. Master Jeff, why aren't you busy? You're a teacher.
Hmm? No, Vian's not here. The cat's here, though.
Oh, hello. Yes, yes. Obviously the cat is more important than Vian. Gets more views. So today we will be talking about the second part of our primer, which is the Imperial Knights. So Knights play very different to Titans. So we're gonna be discussing the different types of knights, how to play an all-knight list, how to just field them with regular Titans, and the pros and cons of taking them and what's different about them. So first of all, why would you want to play with knights? First of all, you need more activations because you took too many warlords. Yeah, that happens when you take like too many big things, you run out of activations. That's why warhounds are important. Say hello to the doggo. The doggo. Yeah. So also you like cute little babies because they are absolutely adorable. They are tiny and cute. It's also 360 no scope. You have a 360-degree arc with no facing restrictions when it comes to shooting, though you still have facings when it comes to like movement. So just as a heads up, that only ever matters for charging. So just as a heads up for that, and also you want some tangy Acastus cheese, which Master Jeff advocates greatly, and Vian absolutely loves. So
Pre
uh,
FAQ.
that's pre FAQ. Now it's two. But two will like a single one totally like punished Vian. So like two is more than enough overkill. So what's different about the terminal? So as you can see, it is much smaller. You don't have like locations anymore. You don't have a reactor, so it's much simpler. If you really want to just learn something simple, knights are the way to go. So let's take the terminal apart. So the first part, we have something called ion shields. You don't have void shields; they're too small for void shields. So what ion shields do are they act like an armor save, similar to 40k, depending on how many titans you have and the strength of the weapon. For example, if you have one Acastus Knight and you're being shot by a Vulcan Mega Bolter, which is strength 5, you have a 5 plus save. The more knights you have, generally for Imperial Knights, the better. So the more knights you have, the better your save, but it also makes you um, more prone to being wiped out by a blast, particularly those with concussives which auto shake knight banners, which we'll be talking about later when we get to Shaken. You also don't have locations when you fail your save, or if you have no save, you go directly to your roll. You don't have to roll a location dice, so it's an armor roll. So we'll talk about what each of those do because like what we don't have like critical damage anymore. So what does a critical hit do? We'll take that in the next slide. We also have the ballistic skill, the weapon skill, and your speed. Akas's knights, the slowest of the knights, moved 7 inches, which is still pretty fast. And their command value. Generally, knights have a garbage command value, but it gets better by around +2 if you do various things, like if you're the knight seneschal of a household list, or if you're an Acastus knight who performed the split fire or um, what's the other thing? First fire order. So damaging knights. A direct hit and the devastating hit are not different from damaging a knight. It's still 1 damage and 2 damage respectively, but the critical hit will deal 2 damage to the track and then kill 1 knight in that order. So you deal 2 damage. If it brings you to the end, like to past the end of the track, you remove a knight. Um, but if you, for example, we go back to this Castos, to the next one. You take one, two, three. You've already taken three damage. Then you take critical hit. So it's one and then two, and then you just take out the knight, and then the track resets. So that's how it works for knights. And if you lose any knights during a phase, you have to take a shaken test, which is a command check. If you fail it, your banner is shaken and you lose all your orders, and you have -3 speed and -1 to hit for the rest of the turn. Then during your next strategy phase, you have to make a command check to see if you're still shaken. If you are still shaken, you're still shaken. But if you pass your command check, you are no longer shaken. So if you're still shaken by your next strategy phase, you're not allowed to take orders, which kind of sucks, especially since knights are very dependent on their orders. So the second part of the terminal is just the structure track. This is the Acastus, and it has like so much more HP than the other knights. Some just have four or five. The armigers only have two. So a single devastating hit will kill an armiger, and a critical hit will kill two armigers. So the weapons work exactly the same, except that you can't destroy weapons and you no longer have weapon cards. They're all on the terminal. So that's nice. So let's talk about the different kinds of knights. The first kind of knight is the Questores Knight. They are as cheap as you can get. They're absolutely dirt cheap, like 35 points base. Then you buy weapons for them. Then you also get a wide variety of weapons, but really only two really good ones for shooting and the melee weapon. They also act as meat shields for bigger titans in the Dominus Maniple, which we'll be talking about in episode 3 once the child returns to life. And he will tell you like lots of good things about the Dominus Maniple since this is his absolute favorite. The arm weapons can also be mixed and matched, um, unlike for the other titans where you have to take a specific mark. And they're absolutely adorable. They're tiny. They're the size of a space marine. So if you have an Imperial Knight that's this big, it's now the size of a space marine, and it's absolutely adorables. So let's go to the weapons. First of all, for your shooting weapons, you have the rapid fire battle cannon, which is good against shields en masse. It's not the worst thing, but it's cheap and it's plentiful. The thermal cannon, gods will like the Omnisci help you if a bunch of these get behind your Titan. Within 6 inches of your rear, it does turn into a D10 due to the fusion rule. So its strength 8 becomes a strength 8 with a D10 roll. So obviously you want these to be flanking or going into the rear of a Titan because anything with a blast marker looking at these things will kill them. Now, the Avenger Gatling cannon is utter garbage. Its strength is so bad that it can't even wound void shields. Yeah, it's
What's
only ever useful as either a meat shield in a Dominus Maniple or in a como se dice, or in the Night Household list in a concentrated fire attack. But we'll get to that later. But anyway, as a general rule, you want to avoid Avenger Gatling cannons. You want to take rapid fire battle cannons if you want to break shields, or thermal cannons if you want to crack knights.
what's the coherency
Mhm.
for these guys? What kind of
3 inches.
coherency?
They
Three
have to be
inches.
within 3 inches of each other. Yes.
So a blast template can hit two
Yeah.
in general.
Bla- yes. Unless you clump them together like an idiot or VN.
How many do you get in a group typically?
For Questores, you get 3 to 6. So their save, of course, gets better the more you have, but then you're more susceptible to blast scatter. So pros and cons.
Are the weapons by points also,
Um, Depends on the
or
weapon. Like
or is it what that you just use what you have in the model?
the Questores is like Questores melee weapon is 5 points. Then the Rapid fire and thermal cannon are 10 point each. I have no idea about the Avenger Gatling cannon because it's so garbage that I didn't even look. Uh,
Probably for knight
Storm
against knight.
Spear Rocket Pod is is 15 rather. So you take it with an RFPC for Shield Super Knight. Yeah. Knight against Knight, sure, but there are still better things to do Knight against Knight. Like um a thermal cannon will do more damage to knights than an Avenger Gatling cannon would. So generally just don't. Like it's low strength, so even like the worst knights get the save. It's generally just not worth bringing. Um
I, I I'm
Unfortunately,
I'm thinking they're saving it. It's for epic 40K, man. For killing people.
yeah. Unfortunately, you get one of each in a box of three, so you don't really have a choice.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
that's what
but
I was
if you can
wondering if that
convert
was the
it,
case. Mm.
but if you can convert it, that's great. Like just convert the hell out of it. Um, the Melta gun, you should probably just save your points. It's just an automatic hit at strength 8. It doesn't even have the fusion trait, so just save your points for other things. The Cerastus Knight Lancer. Now, absolutely love these. They move so goddamn fast. These things move like 10, but these move 12. So, Lancer spears will pierce the heavens. I have seen bat reps with like two Lancers killing a Warlord from the
Already
rear. So,
already full warlord or damaged already.
slightly damaged, but like in the wrong part. So, like the legs were damaged, but they went all out into the body. So, doesn't
Mm-mm.
really matter. Um, The shields also increase your save by +1 for having a Lancer. So if you have a Sirasis Knight banner, you should always bring at least one Lancer. And the shield also comes with a shooting attack, which is like strength 5 or strength 6. And it can do damage against shields. So like these guys are like so much better than these guys. Gods, like I love these. So as
Comes
per
in
their
that
weapons,
basic set. Comes in the
yeah,
new
it
basic
does
set.
come in the new starter set. Though there are rumors that the new starter set may be replaced since they haven't been in production for a while, so they might be replaced early quarter 1 next year. So let's see what happens. Now the Cerassus Knight Acheron comes in a box with the Cerassus Knight Castigator. So they're 2-2. They're
Ah,
also goddamn fast.
these are plastic.
Mhm.
These
These are
particular
plastic.
ones.
They are plastic. They are very orderable. They're not even webstore exclusive. So they
Give me
also
some of
move 12
those.
inches. Sure, I'll order you some in January. So the Chain Fist is weaker strength than a lance, but it does have rending for better spike damage. So it's not as reliable, but it can spike higher. So if you just want to believe and like try to kill a full wounds warlord to the head, like this is what you take.
Oh,
It also has the flamer, the heavy flamer. So the flamer is the one die version of the Warhound um flamer. So it's very good in a certain maniple, the Ignis light maniple, and in a certain Legio, the Fire Masters. So we'll talk about that when we get to maniples. But that's really the best way to field these. Otherwise, they're very good against someone spamming Questors because it is a flamer template.
mm-hmm.
So your mileage may vary. It can get like a lot of people if they are squadroning to share shields. But in general, the Lancer is still the best Cerasus Knight. As a general rule, the Cerasus is the best. Meanwhile, the Castigator, gods. So the Warblade
You
is,
mean the Lancer is the best. The Lancer is the
yeah,
best. The
sorry, the
Seraphis
Lancer is
is
the best.
everybody. Yeah.
Yes, the Lancer is the best. Yes. Unlike in Fate, Lancer is best. So the Castigator now is garbage. The Warblade is exactly the same as the Chain Fist in terms of stats, and the Bolter can't even hurt shields outside of a lance. So it's generally a hard pass
For
since
epic 40K, it's for epic 40K, I say.
Rumors of Epic 40k have been around for years and they haven't eventuated. So,
because the models are still coming. As you can see, it's a slow burn.
all right. So if Epic ever happens, this thing might be useful, but until then, convert it. It's
Hmm.
garbage. Like really, it's only ever useful in a night lance in a night household. But even then, you just want to take more of these guys. So now we get to the cheese. The Acastus Knight Porphyrion, also known as Vian's best friend,
Good
where a
stuff.
single knight basically wiped out half his army. It was so bad. So there's so much DACA for
I'm guessing
in these things.
that's not normal
The what? The wiping
for
out
one,
half.
yeah, one Porphyrion wiping out half another guy's army.
It's common if your enemy is VN.
Mm.
Yes. You normally expect it to kill one or two knights, unless it gets bellicosa like on turn one. It can die to a lucky bellicosa on turn one. Just putting it out there. They are not unkillable. They will die to higher strength weaponry really fast. Like a Melta cannon, a bellicosa, regular volcano cannon. They will one shot a knight Porphyrion straight up. So these things spew out four strength 8 blast shots and six strength 4 shots a turn, making it good at both popping the shields and at like softening a titan. It just can't snipe, but that's okay. And all Acastus Knights, if they take a first fire or a split fire order, their ballistic skill goes up to 3 plus from 4 plus.
Oh.
So they become extremely dumb. Now, these things were so broken and so prevalent in every single tournament where people brought at least four, they got nerfed really hard. So now they cost almost as much as a Warhound, but they're still good for that price. And you're very limited on how many you can take. You can only take one banner per lance or maniple that you field. So in general, you'll only be fielding maximum two. So yeah, due to being so broken, they're now severely limited in number and got a points hike. Now the Acasus Knight Asterius, which is from Forge World, is the bigger brother of this thing, and I can't even. This thing is just so strong, like so much
Mm.
DACA for even cheaper than a Warhound.
I should have
Uh,
gotten this.
it's it's strength 9 with two large blasts, so it's like a two-shot mini volcano cannon.
I'll take that.
It's
Yeah, I'll
absolutely
take that.
dumb. The
Oh,
it
it's
still
great.
has like six shots of like strength anti-strength barrage, but it's not as good as the Porphyrions. But doesn't matter, you're only using it for shields. It's also stupidly survivable like the Porphyrion against smaller weapons, but very weak against bellicosas. So if you bring more than one of these things, expect no one to play with you again.
So get that and the Pori.
You can bring like one of each in a single banner, but is that the best idea? That's gonna be mixing your profiles.
Oh, so they count as they still count as the max
Uh,
two.
They count as a single Acasus Knight banner, so
Ah, okay.
it's max one banner and max two in a banner. So you can put either Porphyrions or Asteriuses in the banner.
Mm.
Same with the Cerasus. It's you can bring any of the three in a Cerasus banner, and you can mix and match. Now, the Mechanicum Custoris Knights. They're still cheap in points, but they are expensive in cash monies. The Megara may not be worth your time, but the Styrex are very good and cheap shield strippers. If you're playing a full household list, you may not want to bother because you generally don't care about the shields unless you want to rely completely on your Porphyrions, which will, you know, die because like your opponent will see them and like destroy. So generally skip these unless you want a dedicated shield stripper unit. Also, they're more expensive in money, so your mileage may vary. Now, the new boys on the block, the Armature Knights from Forge World. They are small and cute, um, and come in two flavors. The Helverin, which is the twin autocannon one, is really only good for shields, while the Melta and Chain Sword Warglaive can threaten Titans with a weaker plasma weapon. It generally can only threaten the weaker Titans, but better than nothing. So anything up to a Reaver should be scared of like armigers coming in very close. They are very fragile and they are slower than their Cerasus cousins. They're 11 inches and they have a garbage command stat of 7 plus. Yep. So
No
on a
orders
D10,
for you.
no orders for you. So they only have 2 HP each. So a single devastating hit will kill one. Yeah, they are so fragile. So in general, I've been seeing reviews about these guys, and like the community generally hates their inclusion because they just like break the giant robot game. Now the Moirax Knights are also armigers. They're also small knights, but their mechanics is flavored. Unlike in 30k and 40k where they are pretty good, in Adeptus Titanicus, they're pretty bad. The double Volkite version is only good against shields because they do have shield breaker, but the Lightning Claw and Lightning Lock seems to only be able to take on a Warhound at best. So yeah, they're still incredibly fragile and they will die to a single hit by almost anything. And I believe you are very limited in the numbers you can take Armiger Knights, but I haven't seen the actual rule yet because information is a bit scant on the internet on them for now since they're just very new. So I think they're gonna be very limited in number, so probably one per other banner or one per lance. So we're gonna be seeing how they do moving forward. Now, if you want to feel, normally you can feel the knights as support banners. So you can take support banners uh, with your regular Titan list. But if you want to play nothing but Imperial Knights, that's when you take a Knight household list. Now, why play a Knight household list? The coordinated strikes makes even the garbage weapons playable. Second is you want to play on hard mode because this is hard mode. Um, the third is you are a horde player in 40k or AOS and are allergic to having just a few big things on the field. And lances do act like squadrons for lots of alpha strike potential, but you will have very few activations. So Knight lances are similar to your maniples, where you need to bring at least one lance, and you have to take three banners in a lance. So the lances all activate together. So a single lance will be activated all at once. So that's three units activating as if they were squadron. And you can issue an order to the whole lance or even just a part of the lance. So you can go like I'll give charge orders to these two and I'll give full stride to this one. Just make sure that they have to stay within coherency. So it's 3 inches within banners and 6 inches within the lance. So you can't like drift far off and you can't have like far supports in the back and then the rest going melee. So it's very limiting. So once again, each lance consists of three banners, and two of the banners must be the same chassis, though you can have different loadouts.
So
And
generally,
each
you would only use this for like all all warglaves or all
all
melee type,
lancers.
all lancers.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Or all Cerasus, like the Acheron is still pretty good when it
Hmm.
comes to meleeing stuff and getting in close. So Each knight in the banner must have the same loadout. So you can't have a single lancer and two Acherons in a banner. It has to be like at least like all lancers. Then second banner is all Acherons, and then the third banner can be Questores. Now there are auxiliaries, so things classified as auxiliary knight banners or support titans, etc. So you can take a maximum of one titan as a support titan, and this can be a war master. So if you want to feel the cheapest possible list you can with the War Master in it, you take a very cheap lance, then you take a War Master. So you can also
So at
take any number of free blade bands. Yes,
so if you ever need to make a lance, you need to have three sets of knights. All you have to
yes,
have enough models for three sets of knights.
indeed. And they all have to have the same weapons within a banner.
So it's three each, or
Um, uh, Cerasus is minimum two.
hmm
Acheron, Casaurus is minimum three.
what's the max though?
Um, two to four for Cerasus
Erastus and
and
six for the
six for the
Questores
Questors.
ones.
I believe it's also six for the Armigers.
That's a lot of
Then
armatures.
you can take any number of free blade banners which are not part of the lance, so they cannot take the coordinated strike orders. But you can mix and match your loadout for these guys, and you can paint them differently because they're basically just attached to your household. They're like there to fight for one battle because they owe the High King or the Seneschal a favor, etc. Then you can also take one auxiliary knight banner per lance, meaning Acastus. So you can only have one Acastus banner per lance, and no
Oh, s-
banner within a lance. Mhm.
so you can't have an Acastus as part of the lance itself.
Unless it's the Seneschal's banner.
Okay.
So you can make Anacastus your seneschal. But that's really hard because the rest of the knights are melee focused,
hmm
and these things want to be sitting back and shooting, and you can't really split up your lance, right?
hmm
So in general, you don't want to take um, Acasus within a lance anyway, and you don't need to like you
Too
don't
bad
need
you can't
any of
take
the
six.
benefits.
Too
No,
bad you
do
can't
not.
take six of them.
No,
As
no,
in
Master Jeff.
three sets of two
No, Master Jeff. You cannot do that.
would have been beautiful.
So free blade banners are banners of knights outside the lance. They can mix and match weaponry, but they cannot do coordinated strikes. We've already talked about them in a previous slide. Now, the Knight Seneschal. One of your banners is led by the Seneschal of your house. So they get a personal trait like your Princeps Senioris, and you get a bunch of tables for that, one for each allegiance, and you get a table depending on which knight house you choose. So there are so many of those that we're not gonna go in depth, but a bunch of like the nicer ones are the ones that provide rerolls because rerolls are very rare in Titanicus. So if you see something with a reroll or an auto pass order within your table, you should go for those. So the the Seneschal's lance is great because he can auto pass the charge and coordinated strikes orders for his entire lance. Entire lance. So if you have 3 units of melee knights, that's auto pass charge for all three. You can also upgrade your Seneschal to the High King for 50 points to be immune to Shaken for your banner and auto pass all command checks in the strategy phase, even if another lance failed an order. So if you only have a Seneschal and you start giving orders, for example, on your your Acastas, because Acastas need orders to be able to shoot at the BS3 plus. And then you fail that. Like Kesh on his first turn, on his first game, rolls a 1 on his Acastas. Then your Seneschal will no longer be able to issue orders, even if they're supposed to auto pass. But if you upgrade it to the High King, you still can. Now, the coordinated strike order is what's new in the Knight household. It's exclusive to a lance, and you choose one knight to attack with a single weapon. You then add +1 strength for each knight assisting with the same weapon in the banner. So, for example, you choose your garbage Avenger Gatling cannon with strength 4 or 3, and then you're adding another 5 guys with Avenger Gatling cannons. So that's gonna be adding 5 to the strength of the weapon. So that's the only way to make those things good. So, but you probably still don't want to bring them because you can also do this with Meltas, and it's a very negligible points difference, like 5 points between an Avenger and the thermal cannon. So generally, still don't bring them. But if you have no choice but to bring them because you're stuck with the models, this is how you make them hurt Titans. Also, for charge orders, they're the same as the Titans, but with one crucial change. Normally, for a Titan, you have to move within your front arc and charge within your front arc in a straight line. But since you don't have facing, now you can only make a pivot of 45 degrees and then move the shortest distance to the target in a straight line. No more sexy charges, in the words of Eric, because Knights, along with Titans in Titanicus, increase the number of attacks they do in a charge by +1 for every 3 inches that they move. So it used to be before the fact, people just like like just move their knights around to maximize the range of their movement,
Yeah, yeah.
so that they move their full 12.
We did that with people did that with Eldar back in the day to say
Yeah,
always moving, even if they stay in the same spot.
yeah, Fek Eldar. So no sexy charges for you. So you now have to move to the shortest distance to the target in a straight line, which is okay. Like it balances out.
It makes it cleaner too
Yeah, yeah.
for people.
Also, when you're charging, I forgot to put it here. Only one knight gets the bonus attacks, so it's no longer the entire banner. Before the fact, it was the entire banner, but now when you charge, for example, you charge with two lancers. Um, you can now only do, and then you move 6 inches to get into the charge range. You get +2 attacks for one lancer you choose.
Usually the first one to hit, I guess.
For allegiances, you have 4 available allegiances, unlike in the Titans, which you only have 3, which are Loyalist, Traitor, and Black Shield. For Knights, you have the Questors Imperialis, which are your Loyalists. You get something called Valorous Charge, where once per game, you increase the movement of an entire lance by 2 inches during the movement phase. That includes during the charge. So it's very good. That's the entire lance. Huh?
So
So generally,
14, so you move 14 and then you can charge what's the maximum they can charge? It's
there's
typical
no
charge
max.
distance. No, no, no. When you charge in melee for melee, or is it or is
It's
it you?
maximum charge is your movement.
It's okay, okay. If you land within 3 inches, was it or 2 inches?
You have to be within 2 inches to be able to
Oh yeah.
strike with a melee weapon.
All right, okay. So 14. So we're talking 14 for these
You're
guys.
talking 14-inch charges with
Hmm.
your Cerastus. Now, um, Quaestorius Knights Mechanicus, which are the Mechanicus aligned knights for either loyalist or traitor. They can be loyalist or traitor, just so long as they are aligned with the Forge world rather than the Imperium or Horus, have targeting solutions. Once per game, you take you allow all your banners within a lance to take a coordinated fire, split fire, or first fire order without a command check, which is pretty compared to the additional 2 inches of movement, since you this isn't really a shooty force. Knight households are generally a melee force, though this can be good if you did for some reason put your Acastus into your Seneschal's banner. So that can be good, but generally it's a bad idea.
This can be used at any point in the game, right? You just have to declare when.
Yeah. Well, during the strategy phase. So
So this is something you would probably use only once if you have other titans in play to once they've taken out the shields and dump everything.
yeah,
If you really want to dump everything in one.
generally. Or if you really need like shields down, or if you
Mhm.
really need to like finish something off. But generally, you want to take this when you're very close in, and you generally want to be taking coordinated fire and not split fire or first fire. Because if you're taking first fire, you're not moving at all, and you don't really need to split fire with knights.
Mhm.
So, Westeros Traitores are very interesting because they have the lust for blood. So it's also melee focused, as all traitor things are in Titanicus. Once per game, you add 1 dice to a single weapon with a melee trait to all knights within a banner. So if you're playing a traitor force, you want to take a full banner of Cerastus. Yes. Or a full banner of Custoris. And then you add 1 dice to all their attacks.
Need to get more of these Erastus.
Yeah, webs are exclusive though. That's what's
Mm.
painful. Though honestly, 2 is overkill for a Reaver. So Questores Oblitus, which are the Black Shields, have firm resolve. You can choose to auto pass a single shaken test per turn. So it's not a once per game effect, it's a once per turn effect, weaker than the others, but it's also more reliable. It makes your shaky knights not shaky, which makes them more reliable in general, which is a pretty solid effect. Like, not gonna lie, it's very solid. I take the Black Shield one over the Mechanicus one any day. Yeah. Now, last episode, Michael asked us to show a sample household list. So, that's what we're gonna do. So, this is a pure knight 1750 list with 1 lance, 2 free blade banners, and, you know, 2 Acasus. So, in the lance, we have a Sarasis Knight banner with the High King upgrade for 300 points. I put 3 Sarasis Knight Lancers in there. Then we have a Sarasis Knight banner with 3 Sarasis Knight Acherons uh, for the Flamer goodness. Then you have the Questoris Knight banner for the thermal cannons and also more melee weapons. So that's 6 Questoris Knights with thermal cannons and melee weapons. So that's a lot of melee coming into your lands. For backline support, you have an Auxiliary Knight banner with 2 Acasus Knight Porphyrions for 350. That's around the price of a Warlord. So you also have a Free Blade banner with 3 Questoris Knights with RFBC, the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon for shield breaking, and you all for to support your Acastus, and you also have 3 with thermal cannons and 1 with an additional Storm Spear rocket pod on the back. Just because I had 15 points spare, so why not? Then this is actually my favorite part of the list: the free blade banner of 6 Questoris Knights with dual melee weapons. So they're Knight
The
Gallants.
gallants. Wow, six
Yes, Gallants.
gallants.
6 Gallants. They're just gonna be flanking. Your enemy's just gonna ignore them. They can't shoot. Like, who cares,
I,
right?
I wish I
Yeah,
had that in 40K. I
you
only have
just
five
you just keep saying you
charge.
just keep giving them full stride orders, like double move every turn, double move
That
every turn.
that's Isn't that how fast is that? 20?
No, they are 11-inch move.
Oh, so that means
So
22.
that's 22, yes.
And if you gave him that two
Let me
inch that
confirm,
two
ah.
inch, so if you gave them that 2 inch thing, they would end up going 26.
That only works within a lance. So if you put that inside the lance, yes, they'd
Ah,
be
okay, okay,
26.
okay. Wait,
Oh,
why
sorry,
can't you
they are
have that?
10 inches. So it's
Why
20 inches move.
why can't you
So
have
10 inches.
the gallants on the normal lance?
Can la? We can.
Ah, you can. Okay.
Yeah, you can switch it up. Like, it's not really a big deal.
Is there a benefit to using a free blade banner versus, let's say, a regular?
They're not stuck within a lance.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. I
Yeah.
see. So that you can't put that in. You can't put a free blade banner inside a lance. So you can't
Mhm.
benefit from the that that funky thing, that 2 inch thing.
Yeah, you can't benefit from the 2-inch thing.
Ah, okay, okay.
So if anything, we can put the gallons inside the banner instead, and make this Stories
18
Night
of them.
banner of thermal cannons. You put them as free blades instead. But I would actually
18
rather,
gallons.
yeah, we can actually just put more gallons. We can drop
18
the
gallons.
15 points for the Storm Spear rocket pod. Then, yeah,
That's like
it's gonna be disgusting.
that's a Zergling list. 18 gallons in a lance, and you just charge and then do the 2 inch thing. You're there.
That's true, and it's very easy to convert melee weapons. You just like
Hmm.
take a marine chainsword,
Yeah. Now you know what to do with all them chain swords, which you
yeah,
don't know what to do with.
and chop off those Avenger Gatling cannons, replace it with an extra chainsword.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Honestly, gallants are
18.
looking pretty good.
That's the key. 18 of them.
Okay, Master Jeff, how many nights do I order you in January?
No, no. I need to check if I actually have enough of Questoris Knights to actually pull this off.
You get more.
No, no, no. We'll see. We'll see. But that does sound kind of cool. I
Just
do like
remember,
that.
we're getting you like the Ceres's Knight Acheron and
Ah, yes, that's right.
Castigator kit anyway.
We need that for completion's sake.
Hmm.
But definitely, there is now a use for all these Questoris Knights that I have sitting inside a box because I don't want to use them. You have shown me the light.
18
Yes,
gallons.
18 gallons.
Yes.
This is
Though
the Tyrannid move.
I would still go 12 gallons and like a Cerastus Knight Lancer banner for your hiking.
Well, yeah, okay, that can work.
Yeah, it just has to be two same chassis, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't say that your hiking can be odd one out because it can. So yeah, then you take Porphyrion.
But that would look really cool though. It's like your gameplay is very limited though because you're really just go
Yeah,
and
and
then
anything with like a lot of blast templates will like absolutely ruin your day.
just spread them out. Just spread them out.
You can't spread them out. They're
Three
stuck
inches.
in coherency.
Yeah, yeah, 3 inches apart. Make do a line. You can do a line.
Um so you're gonna be like very susceptible to high strength attacks and large blasts. Pa rin. So whatchamacallit, bellicosas are gonna ruin your day. Um
Well, yeah, you can get two from the template, and then the actual damage might kill something else, right?
yeah, and quake cannons are gonna auto shake you.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's not good. Ah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see that list, Master Jeff.
That would look cool, actually. That would actually look.
Yes, I
That would look
demand you
really
fight me with 18
eight,
gallons.
18 gallons.
So if we ever do that, we're gonna stream it. Like holy shit, we have to stream that.
This will be a fast game. It's not going to be too big a deal. It's like this is what happens on the game ends in turn two, but you want to see what happens between now
Yes.
and turn two.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take like two fire support warlords. Like even
But
warhounds
the
with
thing with
plasmas will
the
ruin
thing
your
with the
day.
Bellicosa though, it's a template, right?
Yes.
So it does it have a scatter? Do they have scatter
Yes, they
in
do.
they do, right? So if you
Yes.
run everything at to point blank range, then there is the chance of the funny, hey, look, he just volcano cannoned himself.
That's more likely to happen if you're fighting VN.
Yeah. But that is something that can happen,
Yeah, or
right?
Hesed. Hesed. That's gonna happen to Hesed. I feel like it's
Okay, all
gonna
right.
happen to Hesed.
Interesting. This is
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential laughs out of this list.
Yeah, that's a lot with Stories Nights.
That's a lot of that's kind of hard to paint, not with especially with my color scheme.
Yeah, stripes.
Stripes, man,
Stripes.
and lots of different colors.
Hazard stripes.
Hmm.
In yellow and black. Just like the
Yep.
Iron Warriors.
I have white lining between the yellow and black. Iron Warriors do not.
Sure. Sure. So anyway, that's a sample list. You can actually for example, you can drop some points and the free blade banner here and put in a knight. You can put in a warlord. That's something you can do because generally a pure knights list will have a bad time. So you generally want to take one support titan at least. So it's gonna be one titan babysitting
So
like
your
multiple knights
support
as well.
titan is the War Master.
Can la.
Hmm.
That's something you can do. It will
The
eat
sup-
up like a ton of points.
the iconoclast War Master, Big Brother,
Good lord.
everything in
Okay.
your face, little guys and big guy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a very cheap lance, and you won't have points for a castus, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's doable.
But if you're following the theme, that is a doable theme. Not
Yes, it's a
necessarily
very doable theme.
not necessarily an effective theme, but it could get a couple of laughs.
So, once again, Master Jeff's Baby Knights. So that's the Porphyrion, Vian's best friend, Strassa's Knight Lancer, and the Baby Custoris, which will eventually turn into a Lancer. Sorry, a Gallant.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And
yes.
of course, the scale differential, that's an Imperial Knight in 40k. It's the same size as the War Master, and that's like one baby Porphyrion and one daddy Porphyrion. So these are my Jesuit Knights. So
Father Schmidt.
Father Schmidt's over here. Father
Ah,
Schmidt
okay.
is the one without the gold, and this is Father de la Costa. These are Aramis, the gold one, and this one is Mateo Ricci. I'll call him Machi to piss off all the children.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, Vian with his baby knights, which he uses for meat shields.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
so that's what's this? That's what that's
that's
one of
the Dominus Maniple.
yeah maniples. Yeah. So you
So
can just dump a wound or some dump damage to a meech to one of the knights instead.
yeah, he can shunt the hit into a knight,
Ah.
even a template.
Mm.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about that next week, and like
So
I
if
will let Vian explain it.
if I nail his titan with a vortex missile, it can knock out all the knights if he's really unlucky.
Yes,
Mm. Interesting.
but
Interesting.
then it would have knocked out the knights and not his titan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll hit him again with something else, with another vortex missile. That's not a problem.
And that's the thing. This painted Millilith guy
Mhm.
survives so many things.
It's because he's got red. He's got a red helmet, man.
Yeah, like he's fully painted, so he does so well. Like holy shit, he just did so well. He tanked like 2 turns worth of shooting from 3 Titans. It was so dumb.
So he made a save for everything.
If he didn't made them a save, if he didn't make a save, I fucked up my scatter or
Hmm.
something else happened. It's just, it was crazy, man. This guy just survived. He refused to die. He died like bottom of turn 3 to my very last shooting. And the for like one whole turn, Father de la Costa had to focus on him and did not kill him. It was that bad. It was absolutely hilarious.
So that was the shining moment, I guess.
Yes, Vian's like, I will now always take the Dominus Maniple. So I hope to see his warlords soon. And like these guys painted. And that's all we have for today. The other guys don't actually have painted knights. So
Because no one,
or
no one
knights.
really plays with the knights. I mean, if you wanted to
Now
play,
you will.
because the thing is, I think one of the main points of Titanicus is you want to paint one big model instead of lots of small ones. Because if you wanted to
Yes.
do lots of small ones, play regular 40K. So you're trying to do something different. You want to try one big model, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
18
this is
gallons. Yes, that's
18
the.
gallons is the polar opposite of bringing a War Master.
Mhm. But it's even better. What's even better is if you take both a War Master and 18 gallons. What more can you ask for? It's brilliant. Brilliant.
I'm requiring you to bring this list next year.
Oh, figure something out. If I have enough gallons, I'll pull it off.
And if you don't have enough gallons, we will order you more.
I will just replace some with lancers. I think I might have enough lancers.
Fine. Cop out. Cop out.
Unless you want to trade, I can trade. I
I
can
don't
trade
have
for.
BB Questores.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I never got the Grandmaster Edition.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Maybe I can get them off Hesed. Yeah, maybe Hesed doesn't want gallons. Doesn't want his questores.
Yeah, Vian is now in love with his meat shield, so you're not gonna get them off him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for us tonight.
Ooh,
Next, yeah. What's
will
up?
the meat shield idea work with the 18 gallons and you attach it to the War Master?
No, you need to be in a Dominus Maniple to do the meat shield.
What's the minimum requirement?
And a War Master cannot be in a Dominus Maniple.
Okay, all right. That's so much for that idea. Yeah, it was a thought. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, so the Dominus Maniple is one Warlord Battle Titan, two Reavers, and one Questoris or Ceras's Knight Manor minimum. And you can add two Warhounds and an additional Knight Manor.
Oh, so it's a lot of generics. It's a pretty
Mhm.
generic kind of maniple.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you bring a War Master for larger points, it's not part of the Maniple,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it doesn't
It's
get the benefits.
what does it count as? Auxiliary, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the.
an auxiliary Titan.
Mhm. You can only carry one, right? One auxiliary, or you can have as
Yeah,
many.
one auxiliary per Maniple.
So if you have two maniples, you can carry
War
two
Masters, yes.
auxiliary. Yeah.
So the cheapest way to do your two War Masters would be doing two Lupercal Maniples of three Warhounds each.
Hmm.
Yeah, which we'll talk about next episode.
Yep. We can cheat. We can find the min max tactics of army building next week.
Yes. For now, we have found it for knights, which is 18 gallons.
Awesome. Awesome. Because
Lords.
one, think of it. You don't have to think very much. You just go 26 that way and then
Sorry,
punch a few things.
it's 22.
24,
It,
20
it's sorry, it's 10 inches.
plus 2 and then times 2, or is it
It's
times
times
2
2 and then plus 2.
plus 2? Ah, okay, so 22. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So the plus 2 is only
Mhm.
during the movement phase. So you don't get the plus 2 during the combat phase.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. 22 forward. We're there.
And then next turn you just make a charge order,
Hmm. And then
which you
there you
auto
go.
pass.
Then that's it. There you go. We see what kind of damage we can do. Void
Yeah.
shields. We don't care about void shields. We're there.
Yeah, your big problem is if you get shaken.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure something out to get rid of that shaken thing. So
Yeah. We can troll through the various uh seneschal traits to see if there's
yeah,
anything that can negate that.
the quake cannon is the one that auto shakens these knights, right? So
Anything with
that's
quake, anything with
hmm
quake. So
or
that's the quake cannon, obviously, and sorry, anything with concussive. So that's the quake cannon. I believe some melee weapons have concussive. The
I
power
think
claw has
the power
concussive.
claw has it. Yeah.
Yeah, the power fist has concussive. The Legio Kratos exclusive Apocalypse launcher missiles have him,
Hmm.
but that's Legio Kratos exclusive. So, and I believe a screaming demonic titan can also concuss someone.
I'm
So
guessing
yeah,
that's you find that in the Traitor Legio book.
yes, it's a
I,
Slaneshi thing, I believe.
I haven't seen that book yet, so
It goes, oh wow. So we
cool.
can probably do another episode for like demonic titans and like the Psy Titan, stuff like that. Stuff that don't actually fall in the general stuff.
Hmm. You can probably stick the Side Titan along with the maniples actually, because you normally would put it as an addendum to that.
Pweds then. Pero I feel like it would work better if we discuss it with the equivalent that the traitors get, which are the demonics. And you can't put the demonics with the maniples because it's just
Mm.
so much. Well, I'll try. I'll try and see. But in general,
Yeah,
like maniples are gonna take up a lot of our time
yeah.
because maniples are
That.
good.
There are a lot of maniples too.
There are a
So
lot of maniples, and there are so many strategies you can do with them.
yeah, I think that alone is going to take quite a
Hmm.
bit of discussion.
Yeah, so we're at around 1 hour, so we're gonna be finishing early today. We
Mhm.
don't have a dead child today. The dead child is dead. So we're done with our night focus for today, and next week we will be discussing maniples and whatever else we can fit in. So we
What
hope to see you next week. Oh, sorry,
this
not
is
next week. Like
not next
whenever.
week. That's Christmas. It's
Yeah, that's
Christmas.
Christmas. So whenever we'll look for
Hmm.
a schedule that works. Can be
Alrighty.
sometime after Christmas or sometime after New Year. We'll find a schedule. Right. So thank you, Master Jeff, for joining us again. Can you show us the cat one last time? Is the
Oh,
cat there?
cat's asleep. Went off.
Oh. Well, the cat is asleep, unfortunately. But we would like to ask you to like and subscribe to our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Twitch. Check out our website, dragonforgehobbies.com. You can order there or you can order via Facebook. And we'll see you next episode. Next week, no stream because it is the greatest of all holidays, the Bacchanalia, the birth of many, many gods, including Jesus Christ and Bacchus, the god of wine, also known as Dionysus. It's also the birthday of Sol Invictus and Mithras, and the winter solstice and all that stuff. So I think Hanukkah also, and the ancient Norse celebration of Yule. So It's gonna be a lot of stuff happening next week for everyone. So no stream, and we hope to see you sometime after the holidays. So see you next time, guys. And remember, kill those titans with 18 gallons.
Trademark. My idea.
Yes, Master Jeff, 18 gallons.